Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Final Guys. We're going to head into the woods this week, and I remind you ahead of time, remember to hang your food. I'm Jack, and as usual, riding shotgun with me, Jason Brant, Hunter Shea. Hello, fellas.
Howdy ho.
I'm ready. Oh, I thought it would make more
nice.
noise.
Is that a Bud Light?
It's a Bud Light Platinum.
Dilly
Spencer's favorite drink. Dilly dilly.
Bud Light Platinum. That's dilly dilly with a capital D.
More alcohol. That's what it's all about.
I did like how the popping of the bottle sound is completely covered by you smashing the microphone with it.
Yeah, well, it's very hard over here. I have a crazy setup.
I'm finishing a bottle of bourbon here, so I got to hit the liquor store next week to
Me
restock.
too.
Cheers, my friend.
Kind of a generous pour.
Yeah. Yours is even more.
Wow. And we're doing 2 episodes tonight. This is going to be a long, rough night.
The second one might be a little sloppy.
Well, tonight we're going to cover The Ritual, which just hit Netflix. So as usual, we'll do the news. We'll go over what we watched this week. Then we'll have a non-spoiler conversation, and then right at the end, we'll dive into a spoiler, and we'll give you plenty of warning. And the usual ritual going on in the chat room with the finalists cult. Hunter, do you have the drinking game rules for us before we get going?
I do have the drinking game rules. Thank you, Sheridan, for providing us with this week's words to drink by. Jack, yours are 50. Is that 50 Shades of Grey? Netflix and Ent, or ENT, maybe.
Ent, I like that.
Mine is Moose plus Bananas or Woods. Oh, Jack, you just said Woods. Jason, yours is Tension, Circus. I made a note of that. Or Budget. And the bonus, which any of us could say, and then you all have to do a line of cocaine, is Dark, Tree, or Witch.
Jesus.
That covers the entire movie.
Yeah, really. We're done. Dark, Tree, Witch. Finished.
I like Ent. That's a good one. We should throw Groot in there while we're at it.
Circus, as in Andy Serkis?
He's one of the executive producers of The Ritual.
I thought you were saying circus like a clown show.
Yeah, I think it's phonetic. I think either one.
Circus.
As if you said, I watched this movie after I got home from the circus. Then I read Family Circus, and then I watched Monty Python's Flying Circus.
I was wondering what in the hell a circus had to do with this movie. So
it's just because you're a clown.
Well,
Anywho.
Boo.
All right, folks. Are you ready for some news? Because there's a lot of news to cover here.
Lay it on me, Jack.
God,
Okay,
what Charles Manson movie's coming out this week?
Well,
it's a comedy.
we're gonna have we're gonna take a break. We're gonna give up Charles Manson for Lent this week. But Scoop Dunnings at the last minute.
Scoop Dunnings
sent me a breaking news story, so I want to give him his moment in the sun. So you should all have to drink whenever I do a Spencer story. Metallica fan Scoop Dunnings has sent us news that James Hetfield of the rock group Metallica is going to be in that Ted Bundy movie that Zac Efron's in. He's going to play the Sandman in the new Spider-Man movie.
Oh my God.
That would be great.
Can he act? Has he been in anything
Can he
before?
act?
His videos, right? I mean, what else?
I don't know. He's going to play he's playing the state trooper that first arrests Ted Bundy. So how much does he really have to act? He's got to say, exit right.
Will he say yeah at the end of every sentence?
He's off to Never Neverland. I don't know.
Well, I guess he wants...
It's an all-star cast now. You've got Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. You've got a guy from Metallica, not Lars, unfortunately. And sweet abs Efron.
So all we need is like a Urkel, and we've rounded this thing out.
Yeah,
Urkel as Ted Bundy would be awesome. Did I do that?
Did I do that?
Some crazy casting in this film.
Well, I mean, maybe he's the new Henry Rollins. Hardcore motherfucker getting into film. Why not?
Could be.
It definitely could be. He could be the new Carrot Top. I don't know.
I want to be Carrot Bottom.
Okay, now for my news, which isn't as exciting. Actually, this is pretty exciting. I don't know if exciting is the right word. So remember we saw that Child's Play movie recently on Netflix. I forget, Cult of Chucky.
Yes.
Well, folks, we all were hoping that there would be more to come. There is, but it's not going to be a movie. There's going to be a Child's Play TV series, and it's going to continue from Cult of Chucky with the same actors, Brad Dourif, the whole nine. So let's see if I can find how many episodes.
So I finally get to see Jennifer Tilly in something other than like World Series poker on TV.
Yes.
I'm down for that.
As a TV series, now that is quite an interesting take.
It's where everything's going. I mean, they're taking every horror franchise and just, well, I mean, Freddy's Nightmares and Friday the 13th, the series, even though they didn't necessarily have the titular bad guys.
Well, Freddy's Nightmares was like he hosted it like Elvira.
Right.
But,
you know, you got The Omen and Bates Motel.
Yeah.
And
Man, I wanted to like Freddy's Nightmares so bad. And just...
I did not give a flying F about Freddy's Nightmares when it was on.
Oh, I tried hard. I watched the first couple, and then even me, I was like, I can't do it.
I watched Friday the 13th because it had Robey.
I watched that occasionally, but the no Jason thing lost me kind of immediately. Okay, so I don't know how many episodes, but basically it's all the same. Don Mancini is part of the people bringing it to you. So I think this is interesting because it's got the real people in it, and it's like a continuation. Because look, I don't really need Chucky movies. I'm not a huge Chucky fan, but I get amused by them. So like a TV series might be the best way for me to consume this. Is like it might be more fun for me to see it on a weekly or binge basis than, you know, every 4 years another Chucky comes out just to see how old everybody got.
True.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can fill a season with enough Chucky content that doesn't get I don't know if boring's the right word. Repetitive, maybe?
Well, maybe they could have guest stars. Like Annabelle could stop by for like a fling.
He's courting her.
Oh, look, if you got Don Mancini at the helm, that's the one thing I like about that show. That show, the series, is it's consistent because it's the same guy writing all of them.
If they could get Henry Mancini to do the music, that'd be like the.
Is he still alive?
I don't know, but it's a fine musician, that Henry Mancini.
Hey, he gave us the Pink Panther in the
Was
Oscars.
Mancini one of the words in the drinking game?
No, next week.
I put the man in Mancini, baby.
You sure do.
The next piece of news we don't have to talk about long, but I thought it was worth mentioning because now all the TV shows we watch are either on Netflix or Amazon. When's the last time like a network TV show like caused you to even look up? Amazon is announcing a big budget Conan the Barbarian series.
Oh, I've been praying to Crom.
I want to hear the lamentations of their women. Michael Sapochnik of Game of Thrones will direct, and Warren Littlefield and some other guys are going to produce. And why does that mean anything? Sapochnik is known for the Battle of the Bastards episodes of Game of Thrones. Unfortunately, though, one of the other guys was involved with the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Hercules movie. So, let's hope it's more Game of Thrones and less Hercules.
Is the imp going to play Conan?
Now that I would like to see. You ever see like Mini Kiss? I would love to see Mini
Yes.
Conan movie. Remember we saw that at Chiller?
Yes. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist, like a comic book artist. And me and my friend, we used to draw and write mini Hulk comics. And it was always this tiny Hulk who was battling like the pen and the hand of the person who was drawing him.
That's nice.
I wish I could find those.
Remember Tiny Elvis on Saturday Night Live? Hey
Yes.
there. Hey, Tiny Elvis.
TCB, baby.
So there was a Conan movie with Jason Momoa that nobody saw.
I saw it, unfortunately.
Of course you did.
He was
You probably
doing
saw like, oh, there's the English version, and then there was also the American version, which is 8 minutes longer, and the aspect ratio was actually 0.5 different.
Yeah, you're right. It's almost like we have a movie review show, and I like movies. It's crazy.
That's nuts. What the hell's the matter with you?
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Are you going to talk about his reboot movie that they're doing with him? Jason Momoa? Do you know about this one? I might have news.
I know he's doing Aquaman with James Wan directing.
They are rebooting The Crow with Jason Momoa taking over Brandon Lee's role.
Oh, I heard about that. Is that still on?
Yeah. Now I have a Crow, a J.O. Bar still signed on my wall. I love The Crow, and I'm not keen about this.
I love The Crow, but none of the sequels. I don't even know if I saw any of the sequels.
No, they're terrible. Yeah, they're pretty much.
I don't know about that casting. He's a big, giant dude.
That's it.
Yeah, he's more like an ostrich than a crow.
Like that would really change the dynamic of the film if you have a big bastard like that.
Yeah. Again, they'll screw it up, but whatever. I'm sure.
Can
J.O.
he
Bar-
say what is it like? Drugs are bad for you, or heroin is bad for you?
Mother is the name. No,
Oh,
mother is
God.
the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children.
I love that movie.
Wow, so do I.
All right, enough of Conan.
By the way, hot dogs make you fart.
I could have told you that. Actually, you've had hot dogs with me. We know this.
I sure do.
You know what? I'm gonna have a hot dog for lunch tomorrow, and then
I had a hot dog for lunch today.
excellent.
Jason's going, what the fuck is going on here?
Jesus Christ.
I gotta say, look, quick aside. There's a lot of people that have problems with people who put ketchup on a hot dog. I am not one of them. I am a ketchup and mustard person. I go both ways when it comes to hot dogs.
I do
Thank
not
you for
mind
clearing that
ketchup.
up.
I like ketchup if it's with mustard, or if it's on a hotter chili and I need something to cool it off.
That's clarification. I will only do ketchup only if I'm in a dire situation that there are no other condiments. Mustard solo is fine, or ketchup and mustard, but not ketchup alone. I have done barbecue sauce though.
That'd be
Try
good.
that sometime. I think outside the bun.
I had my favorite hot dog ever was a slaw dog at the Varsity in Atlanta.
A slaw dog?
Slaw dog,
Seriously?
custom made slaw on a hot dog.
That sounds
Jason
delicious.
is literally, if he could, he would punch us in the mouth right now.
He can't reach us.
This is what the people want. We polled. We didn't tell you, Jason. They want more hot dog recommendations.
I gotta have more hot dog. Great Led Zeppelin song, by the way.
You're a wiener.
Okay. No, actually, two more pieces of news. I got so much news.
Jesus.
I feel like I know I don't have two pieces of news. I got it all onto one page. Remember that Cloverfield movie we did last week?
No.
I'll never forget it.
The Paradox. Well, it was in quote. We were wondering whether they were going to actually do a sequel or not. They are, in fact, doing a World War II set sequel, tentatively titled Overlord, and it is going to go to theaters. Release date is October 26th. And here's the synopsis. Overlord, which is said to involve Allied soldiers shot down behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day who encounter supernatural forces, potentially zombies.
Oh. I'm all for. I don't think horror needs more period pieces, but not if you're going to throw zombies in there. If that's it, I don't give a crap.
What if there's zombies like in Sucker Punch, where they're like the steampunk and you shoot them and they deflate or whatever?
If you have beautiful girls like Sucker Punch and an awesome soundtrack,
So fighting them, I'm in.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Jamie Chung, I'm in.
Actually,
Carla Gugino,
I love that movie with the sound off.
Emily Browning. Why do I know so much about Sucker Punch? This is sad.
Who's the blonde that was in that movie where she made sweet love to the corpse?
What? Did you watch my wedding video?
The main girl from that movie.
Neon Demon?
Is it Neon Demon? Yes, it is Neon Demon.
That's Elle Fanning.
No, the other one.
Oh,
She's
the
in
girl
Sucker
from
Punch.
Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yes, I love her.
I love her.
Did the quirky there. Okay. That's what do you think of? So what do you think? Cloverfield? We're gonna do a field trip and go see this together, Hunter?
Yes.
We say we are, but we're not.
We will, I swear.
We will.
First of all, if you do Tubby Time, if both of you do Tubby Time with me, I will do field trips with you.
Oh, great. So if I get naked in the tub with you, I can go see a Cloverfield movie.
And I'll wear peach fuzz while we're doing it.
How much did you guys drink before this started?
Sounds like a
Well-
bonus episode to me.
I will say I've been drinking for hours.
Actually, that was my first sip.
So to answer your question about the movie, I like that these are all different. The Cloverfield thing is kind of shoehorned in, so it doesn't really matter if the last movie sucked. The next movie, there's a good chance it'll be a solid film. So, and I like ketchup and mustard on hot dogs.
Excellent.
Yay! He chimed in.
Jesus Christ.
Audrey wants a video if we all do tubby time.
The only way we're doing tubby time is if there is video.
I would want to save it forever. So yes, don't worry.
Okay, let's see. That's all I got for news. So
I'm exhausted. Can we go home now?
we can't go home now. So if you're exhausted, we'll let Jason go first with what he watched. Jason,
Okay.
please tell us, what did you watch?
Well, I started off with a movie on Shudder that was recommended to me called Shuttle, a 2008 horror mystery crime kind of thing. And it's basically two college age women get off a plane from Mexico in the middle of the night and they need to get home, and they take the last shuttle out of the airport, and the driver kidnaps them and starts doing terrible things to them, and they don't know why, and they can't figure out what's going on. And the film is essentially them trying to escape as this guy is driving through desolate parts of a city to keep them on the shuttle. And it was pretty damn good. I really like the end of it. My biggest issue is in the middle, it becomes a little repetitive with them trying to escape. It's like they try to escape and then they get caught, and then they try to escape and then they get caught. And it's just, it gets a little repetitive there. But if you can get through that, if they cut about 20 minutes off, this movie would be just a diehard recommendation because there's some good shit in it.
Was the movie an hour and 20 minutes?
I think it
I've
was,
got a movie like that on my list.
if I had to guess, it was probably an hour 40, hour 50. And had it been
Oh, wow.
about an hour 30, it would have been just spot on. But the ending was cool. I dug the movie. So if anyone has Shudder, check that out. That is Shuttle. Then I finally got around to watching A Ghost Story, the Casey Affleck film that came out last year where he's in a white sheet. Did you guys see this?
I did.
not.
This movie was really interesting.
That's high fart sniffing art movie kind of house kind of stuff.
It is. The first half an hour was painful. And I like art house stuff sometimes, a lot of times. And the first half an hour, I should say, first act, was really hard for me to get through. You have to sit and watch a scene where a woman eats an entire pie. You just sit there and watch it for like 10 minutes. She's
By the
just
way,
eating a pie.
That was fucking amazing. She weighed about 90 pounds and she ate a whole damn pie.
She put it down. Like, it was impressive.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I've never seen a girl take a sandwich like that before.
But the first, like I said, the first 30 minutes, there's just a lot of scenes like that where you see the morgue where right when he dies at the beginning, you see him lying on a table, and you have to watch that for like 5 minutes. No camera movement, no cuts, nothing. And I just was thinking, I'm not going to get through this movie. Like, this is an endurance test, and I am way fat and out of shape. So fortunately, after that, things start to pick up a lot, and I found the last hour to be great. I
Yeah.
particularly loved the ending. The last two acts just really got me. Is it a movie I'm going to recommend to a lot of people, particularly normie type people? No, absolutely not. To our audience, if you can get through the first half an hour, you're going to be rewarded with some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I love that scene when the family that had moved in later and he throws the tantrum in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it's showing you the pathos of a ghost from the ghost's end.
It
And
is.
frustration.
And they did some really crazy stuff with time dilation, some camera trickery that I just thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
So outstanding
It's really good.
filmmaking. Yeah.
It's
killer
no
movie.
mother.
So is time dilation a word in the drinking game?
Yeah,
If
the
he had
ghost,
picked dilation,
the ghost was 9 centimeters dilated. He almost
So-
gave birth.
for anyone who wants to watch this is free on Prime right now. So if you're a Prime subscriber, there you go. Solid movie. One of you last week recommended The Core.
I did.
Oh, what a wet dream for horror fans this show is. It is just fantastic. The first episode was my favorite so far. I've watched maybe 4 episodes. It's just brilliant. They go into how to make the special effects and things like you said. And the puke episode was a little rough.
That's the one I watched. I've watched 2, so I watched the puke episode.
That was a rough one.
I've only watched Lee Wanell and the Soskus sisters, and I thought it was boring. So maybe I got to look at the other ones.
Was that the
You
dick
got to watch
episode?
the first one about Halloween because that's awesome.
I saw the fake dick one, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, the Halloween one is just brilliant. So
All right.
I've got maybe 2 or 3 more episodes left, but I'm loving the show. Outstanding recommendation, Jack. Everyone should check that out. The Core on Shudder.
Excellent.
I think it's only like 6 episodes so far, something like that.
Yeah, it's 6 or 7, something like that. It's quick.
And
Yeah,
sorry, go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm on like a once a week pace with that. Although I don't know if they're putting out new ones, like, or is it 6 and done? I don't know.
So far. That's it. That's just the one season.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm still, just like you said, I'm once a week, I'm going through and watching these new Black Mirror episodes. If I watch more than that, they usually bum me out. So I watched the second episode called Archangel, and this season feels so much more cinematic. I don't know if I just haven't watched it in a couple years, but each one of these feels like a mini movie. They're so good.
Yeah.
This one was actually directed by Jodie Foster.
Yep.
And it's about a mother who, her daughter runs away when she's very little. So she gets an implant put in the daughter's head, and she can see everything the daughter sees, hear it. She can tell when her daughter's stressed out. She can turn on a filter in her head so she can't see or hear things that are stressful. And it's basically just called Millennial, the movie, with safe spaces and trigger warnings. And
it's about my sister. If my sister could do this, she would put it in her 11-year-old daughter's head.
Well, then she should watch this episode because it basically just goes into everything that happens because of it and raising people this way. It was outstanding, and it was very tense at times for me. I think because it was just so on the nose for the way things are right now for a lot of people that I just thought this was a brilliant episode. And Jodie Foster, has she directed a lot of things? I know she's done like a movie or 2.
Little Man Tate.
I did not see that.
Did she direct that?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Hey, look, she's been around film forever. She knows what she's doing.
She has a serious talent for this, so I hope she keeps making films because this was outstanding. So, and that's what I watched for the week.
Splendid.
All right.
Hunter, you want to go?
Yeah, I've recovered. I'm ready now. I'm not going to talk about hot dogs. I will. This is a good segue. I watched the entire 4th season of Black Mirror this past week. I binge watched. I did 2 episodes a night for, I think it was 4 nights. It was just brilliant. There's an overarching theme, which is I wrote this down one night. I said, "Oh, technology, what horrors hast thou wrought?"
Right.
Because every episode deals with a type of technology, which is something that Google, I'm sure, already has in its back pocket. And what can really go wrong with this stuff? And you're right. Every episode feels very cinematic. I know everyone was just gushing about the Star Trek kind of goofy first episode. And I told my wife, like, you got to watch this. Everyone's talking about this is like the greatest episode. I've heard people say the greatest episode of any show ever produced on anything.
That's calm down.
That's a little far.
Yeah, it was amusing. Maybe the build-up kind of killed it for me. I thought it was cool. My favorite episodes, I loved Hang the DJ, which might be the 4th episode, which it's about a guy meets up with a girl through a dating service, and the dating service finds your mate, and you meet each other up. And then as soon as you meet, you can click your phones together, and it tells you how long your relationship will last. So you already know, and you can't deviate from however long it tells you, and it sets up your date for you. I just thought it was fantastic. And I fell in love with the girl that was in the episode. That was awesome. It had a Logan's Run kind of vibe to it. And my favorite episode was the Metalhead, which is the next to last episode, about there's 3 people. It's all shot in black and white. It's kind of like this post-apocalyptic thing, and they go into a warehouse to steal a box. And when they do, there's a little like metallic thing that all of a sudden wakes up, and then it turns into this metallic robotic dog that hounds them and just is going to murder them no matter how long it takes. Really, it's a phenomenal episode. And one of the few, I know people will do black and white every now and then, but they don't know how to shoot in black and white. They kind of use the black and white medium to their advantage in this. I thought it was cool to see this futuristic sci-fi in old time black and white, and loved it. That was my favorite episode. And the best thing about Black Mirror, they're all written by the same guy, Charlie Brooker. Yeah, Charlie Brooker writes them all.
Whoa.
Which is a
genius.
It's a very British thing to do. Like if you'll watch a British show that's been on for even 10 years, it's the same guy will write every episode. And sometimes it's great for consistency. Sometimes it's, all right, they're using the same formula over and over again, but love that.
How dare you mention using color and shooting techniques when reviewing a film?
I know, but I didn't do anything real technical. So
bougie.
That kind of proves that you can actually talk like that and not bore people. Well done, Hunter.
Well, I don't get complimented often. I feel like I should leave right now. I said to my wife, and I'm a big Kevin Smith fan and a constant purveyor of his secret stash in Red Bank, New Jersey. I said, you got to watch this movie Red State that he did in 2011. It's nothing like Clerks or Tusk or any stupid thing you've ever seen by him. And she says, oh, fine, let's watch this thing. Now, Red State, you would never know it's Kevin Smith. It's about 3 teens who are horny, hook up with a girl online, a woman, to bang her in her trailer, get kidnapped by a religious cult. And then it turns into a cult standoff with the ATF. I can't tell you how good this movie is. Michael Parks is the cult leader. And his scene, now he's recently passed away. His scene when he is doing his preaching is just chilling. And on the other end of the compound is John Goodman before he lost the weight. He's the head of the ATF who has to go in there because they know there's a hostage situation. This is the only movie I've ever watched where at one point something happens that almost made me shit my pants. I know
exactly what you're talking about.
You do. If you've seen it, you know what it is. And I did not know what was coming at that point. And to do that to me, I mean, kudos.
That moment you're talking about makes the whole movie because you're like, what?
Holy crap. So I have to go back to the secret stash. Sometimes Kevin Smith will leave behind signed copies of the Blu-rays. I got to get a copy for myself. But the best part was after we watched it, my wife goes, I think that's my favorite movie of all time. To convert my wife, who hates Kevin Smith, which is scary because we're very similar in the way we talk, to get her to think that's her favorite movie of all time was just, oh my God. I was turgid.
I really like that movie, but damn, favorite movie of all time. That's
favorite movie.
It's turgid in the drinking game rule.
Yeah. Well, my wife's favorite song of all time is Shock the Monkey by Peter Gabriel. She has a really eclectic taste.
Shock the Monkey.
I Shock the Monkey.
Was that your first dance at your wedding?
I refuse to let them play that at our wedding. Sticking with the red theme, the third I watched was Red Christmas.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yes, produced and starring Dee Wallace, which is like a poor man's You're Next.
What?
Well, it's a family gathered together for an event, in this case, Christmas in Australia. You're Next, the heroine was Australian, and bad things happen, except in this case, it's Dee Wallace as a youngster was having a secret abortion. The abortion clinic got bombed. Her baby somehow survived, which I don't know what kind of abortions they do in Australia, and then has come back as this cloaked. He looks like Death from Monty Python Meaning of Life when he comes to the dinner party.
If Death and Gollum from the Hobbit cartoon had a baby.
Yeah, I am Death. A lot of people hate this movie. I enjoyed it. It's gory. It's kind of goofy. Her wayward son is called Cletus, coming to read a note to the family. There's a lot of blood. It's only 80 minutes. I mean, come on, you could withstand 80
It's
minutes.
a good, stupid movie.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was kind of fun.
Dee Wallace gives everything she's got.
Oh my God. I mean, she lays it out, and she was the producer too. So I guess, she was really, it's a weird movie for a 70-year-old woman to pick, but
That's on Netflix, right?
it's on Netflix. Red State was not on Netflix. I own Red State. So, but it's 47% Rotten Tomatoes, which shows you Rotten Tomatoes isn't always right. It at least deserves 50. So I say watch it. It's a cool movie.
If you're listening to a podcast like this, this is a movie worth watching.
Totally.
Don't recommend this to your sister-in-law who wants to watch Fried Green Tomatoes.
No, it's bananas.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
If you want to see a movie with multiple people with Down syndrome in it, this is awesome.
That son, the other son, is awesome.
Yeah. She has a son with Down syndrome who was quoting Shakespeare through the whole thing.
That's what made me laugh. I forgot about him.
No, it's really good. It's offensive and it's good. So check it out. It's not going to cost you much. And the last thing I want to talk about, I read a book by the high priestess of the Final Guys cult, The Witch's Backbone, by our very own Pamela Morris.
Oh, nice.
This is part 1 of a Barnesville Chronicle. I freaking loved it. I'm not even exaggerating because she's listening. I like this more than it because it's a coming of age horror centered around a bunch of 12-year-olds. There was no gang banging of a little girl in this thing. No stupid clowns that really, everyone likes to say they're afraid of clown. You're not afraid of a clown. Give me a break. I thought it was really cool. It's a really awesome book. I can't wait for part 2. I think she's still writing it or editing it or something, getting it together. So hopefully it comes out later this year. But especially you Final Guys listeners, pick up The Witch's Backbone, or I swear to God, I will punch you on the fanny.
You had me at coming of age. I'll grab that.
Let me ask you a couple questions about this.
Yes.
Is it
bigger than a bread box?
Is it like scary? Is it gory? Is it sexy?
Sometimes I'm not going to talk about 12-year-olds and sexy. It is, like I said, it's great. I love coming of age horror. Like I love Boy's Life and I love Stand By Me and things like that. And it kind of had that feel to it, but it's also got this witch in the woods kind of thing going on. And I loved it.
Cool.
Great job, Pam. All hail the high priestess.
I'll go to Amazon, grab a copy.
That's right. Or
we'll just wait for our complimentary.
See, Eric Smith just said sold. And he also said Cletus the fetus. Which he was. That was great. Oh, boy. All right, I'm done.
Excellent. Well, what did I watch? First of all, I watched a new animated DC film called Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which is named after a graphic novel, but they really deviate from it. But the crux is the same. It's a separate story of Batman in the time of Jack the Ripper. So it's Batman versus Jack the Ripper. It's like a 70-minute long animated, and it's great. Definitely, if you're into these DC animated movies, there are some of these adaptations that they do that aren't so good, and some that are really awesome.
So this one is set in the 1800s?
Yeah. So this is Batman, Jack the Ripper, and Jack the Ripper kills people graphically with a knife. So
I could go for that.
And it's a one-off story. It's got other Batman characters in it. And again, the graphic novel is totally different. The only thing it has in common is Batman and Jack the Ripper, but they change everything about it. So if you read it, you should check this out because you won't know what's going to happen.
Is it on Prime? Because Prime has a lot of those DC cartoons on.
It's no, I rented it for a couple, like $3 or $4.
Okay.
It just came out. It was for purchase up until like the other day, and then I rented it. Worth a rental. Enjoyed it much better than like The Killing Joke. Great comic book. The screen adaptation did not carry over. They had to add a lot to it, and what on that page, seeing it in person, even with Mark Hamill as the Joker, didn't do it for me. This I enjoyed a lot. So
Okay.
there's a couple of problems with it, but it's not perfect, but it's very, for an animated film, thumbs up.
Cool.
Hunter, I know you've seen this movie, or you can tell me if this was an actual real event.
Yeah.
One of you was talking about watching a movie and like had it been shorter. I watched Phoenix Tapes '97, which is found footage movie that's only like an hour long, and it's about this UFO in Phoenix.
The Phoenix Lights.
The Phoenix Lights.
Yep.
That is only an hour long, and it's like an hour and 7 minutes. And if it had been an hour and 8 minutes, I don't know if I would have left it on, because it was.
Yeah.
I was just looking for something short because I was like, I got to get something in so I have something to talk about in this. And I was like, I'm not gonna. It was like late. I wasn't gonna stay awake. I'm like, oh, an hour, I can do this. And I watched it. And I was like, there's so much. It's a found footage. So much of it is like the camera faced on the ground and just walking.
It's bad.
And then, however, there's like 4 or 5 of those. Somebody falls down and then dragged away like in Wreck at the end. And every time the camera perfectly gets that.
Yeah, I know.
And it's alien. So was there a real Phoenix Lights?
There was the real Phoenix Lights. It happened in the late
Must have been 97.
97.
Yeah.
You can see the video on YouTube of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff.
It's actually a really cool phenomenon that happened there.
Yeah. What's the woman's like? Keitel. She wrote a great book on it. The governor denied it, but now he's a big UFO guy. Check it out. It's real, man.
It's better than that movie.
Yeah, and Phoenix Forgotten.
The funny thing is, like, there's no credits and stuff, so there's some of these found footage movies where people suspect, oh, is this a real, actual found footage that they put up? This has all the stuff that only happens in found footage movies, like why are you still filming? Oh, I've got to document this, like stuff that never happens in real life. Or if we went on a trip, we would not have that moment where we all stand in front of the RV going, okay, we're off to our big trip to the woods now, and let's each go through our pathos so we know what our character arc's going to be. I'm afraid of spiders and I'm jealous of my girlfriend.
You gotta have something to put in the movie, man.
Right. But in a real found footage, like the Blair Witch handled that really well. The character development. Where the hell Hunter just went. But while he's in the bathroom, the last thing I watched is something that there are several documentaries about Star Wars and Star Trek on these various platforms. And I want to watch several of them. And one that I actually pulled the trigger on was William Shatner's Get a Life. And it starts off with a Saturday Night Live skit of him telling people get a life. And then it goes into a document where basically William Shatner starts talking about Star Trek conventions, and then they go to one, or they go to several. Actually, no, it's one. And it's all behind the scenes of you get to know Star Trek fans and this and that. And there's a lot of cast members and things. And there are several really good Star Trek documentaries. And this is, as a Star Trek fan, I enjoyed it. It's older. So this is, the funny thing about this is Star Trek conventions are really what got all this Comic-Con stuff going. Now you go to Comic-Con and everybody's like, well, we're geeks and we're nerds, and it's superheroes and Star Wars and Star Trek and all the stuff. But it really started with Star Trek. That's where people were dressing up and doing this. So when you watch stuff like this, you remember, like, wow, there was a time where there was no social media, and when you went to these things, you were like almost an outcast. And now it's like people have careers where they get dressed up and go to these things now. So just from that standpoint, but also I love watching these things because they'll show there was a kid in a wheelchair, and being a Star Trek fan, was like the greatest thing that happened in that kid's life. And some of those stories are great too. So like I love Shatner, I love Star Trek, so I enjoyed it. So if you're looking for this one was free. There's another one called Trekkers or Trekkies that I'm going to watch that it's a couple of bucks. So that'll be the next one I watch.
I've seen that one.
By the way, that kid in the wheelchair is now Elon Musk. He rose above.
I started watching another one about Star Wars, but I had to turn it off. but it wasn't as good, so I don't know if I'm going to finish it. So that's what I watched. Naturally, I should probably take the advice of that movie and get a life myself, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So with that, that's what we watched. It's time now for our main feature.
Yay!
Dun, dun, dun.
Enter teaser music for production purposes here.
This is what you get when you watch us live. A hot mess.
Okay, so we watched The Ritual, dropped on Netflix. 4 guys going to the woods of Sweden, right? Between Sweden and Norway?
Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden.
For their annual trip. I guess they all went to college together. However, there was 5 of them, and one of them is killed in a robbery at a convenience store at the beginning of the movie. So they go and they have a moment for this guy as they go, and that incident really sets the board for the state of mind that everybody's in, particularly the main character, who is sort of racked with guilt over what happened.
Yeah, he has both survivor's guilt and guilt for not helping his friend because he was in the store when they got held up and hid and didn't help his friend.
Yeah, which he did what almost anybody would do, would be like,
Yeah.
Fuck that. I would have hit those fuckers with a
Fight
ball.
guys with machetes. That doesn't end well.
I would have taken him out. But
You got winded trying to run down the
Dude,
aisle.
I've stood tall during a drive-by shooting, watch bullets whiz right past me, and just watch them go. So I am hard as nails. I'm Shaft,
You're
motherfucker.
like Neo.
I just went like I did the whole like whoa.
I once went to retrieve Marcellus Wallace's briefcase, and this guy came out and he shot at me and my partner, but all the bullets missed. And so I took that as a sign from God, and I retired from being a hitman.
That's pride fucking with you.
Wow. See, one time when I was getting groceries, an old lady didn't put her cart back, and I was like, what are you doing? So I could totally be brave like that too.
10 items or less, ma'am. You have 12.
The Ritual. Non-spoiler.
Yes.
Jason, what did you think?
I freaking loved it. I thought this movie was great. I thought it was really tense, to be honest. Oh, snuck a really in there for you, Sheridan. I know that's not my rules, but he gets a kick out of that, I think. I thought this, to me, so Netflix was not on the best streak of original films lately. And this is the kind of film I want to see them acquire. They probably didn't have to pay a ton of money for it. This was kind of had some good word of mouth from festivals and things like that. And when it dropped, I was super excited and I loved it. I thought the acting between the friends was outstanding. The director obviously knows when you're doing a movie like this, you don't show what's happening right away. You build to it throughout the film, and then at the end, you can do some crazy stuff. And I thought it was handled perfectly. I loved it. I couldn't have been happier with it.
Splendid. Hunter, how about you?
I actually watched it an hour before we started the show. I front loaded. I was drinking, having a good time.
We can't tell.
No, it's impossible to tell. I love that we finally have a horror movie based on a book by an actual good horror writer, Adam Nevill, who is phenomenal. You guys got to check him out. He wrote The Ritual in, I think, 2011, and I thought it was really, really good. Not interesting. It was good. There was just such an atmosphere to this, and the interplay between the 4 friends, like my wife would be like, "Oh, why are they talking?" I'm like, "Guys shit on each other. That's what we do."
Clearly, she never watches this podcast.
I know she doesn't. She doesn't care about us. I just thought it was great. I loved the idea of there was a Howard Hawks convention they used in this where they were always shining a flashlight deep into the woods, and you never see anything. It's like, so it gets you comfortable with, oh, okay, I know when they show the flashlight, it subconsciously you go, oh, there'll be nothing there. And then when something does show up, it shocks you. And it was the original The Thing, where they
shocks you like a monkey.
Shock the monkey, hey baby. So I thought it was great. I loved, one of my favorite parts was the actual monster that you get to see in the end. And I thought it's one of the better Netflix originals I've seen since Creep 2, right? So I loved it.
Well, once again, all three of us liked this movie because I thought it was good. And man, I'm enjoying the movie. And then, you start to realize there's supernatural things going on and they're hinting at the monster. And I'm holding my breath going, oh man, this is going to be a great movie. And then they're going to not stick the landing and fumble on the goal line. And they didn't. They came up with a monster that is very unique, and they kept it in the dark. So you got to see it, but you didn't really see it enough to make it look stupid. And there was times where you weren't even sure what the hell you were looking at. And they had some there's some psychological stuff that happens, particularly to one guy, that you see what he's seeing in his mind, kind of, and the effect of some things that happen in the forest to him are pulled off. Again, they could have really been hokey, but they pulled this thing off, and then it kind of paid off at the end when the climax happens. I thought that there was a lot of moving parts in this movie that could have made it falter, and it didn't. And so for the most part, and this is what we're hoping for from Netflix, right? Is I probably wouldn't want to see this in the theater, but this is like the quality level that I want in a pay-per-view or when a new release. I want something really, really, really enjoyable like this, and higher quality than the normal crap we've been dealing with.
It's probably made for like $3-4 million, which is all you need. But the key,
how to shoot with that. Yeah, I mean, the creature, exactly like you guys said, they kept it in the dark, so the CG didn't look preposterous or stupid. It completely worked on every level for me.
But when they took it out of the dark, it still worked because it's so bizarre and so original. You're like, oh my god! Like, I like the idea of constantly, like, whenever this thing was near, it would take the main guy Luke back to his greatest failure, which is not saving his friend in that store. And I felt it, man. I felt this guy. I know Audra in the chat said she didn't like Luke at all, but I'm telling you, that's the way a guy, because it's inbred in us where we have to be the savior, right? And if you don't, even if it's a situation where you can't possibly save somebody, you feel like a freaking loser, and you're going to spiral for a while until you get out of it. If you get out of it, some people never do. Maybe that's by virtue of growing up where I grew up. These situations really hit home.
Well, they set that up. It had a great dramatic effect between the characters, a great dynamic between them because of that. What you're talking about, that guilt, and then some of that anger from the other friends, really led to some great moments between them. And fortunately, they did a great job casting this, because at no point did I not feel like the emotions were real between these people. It wasn't like, sometimes we watch some of these horror movies, these low budget ones, and some of these actors aren't pulling off the dramatic scenes. And I didn't feel that in this at all.
This felt like four guys who were not actors actually in the woods. Whereas go watch that new Blair Witch movie, and you never once feel like you're actually in the woods with people in real life. You feel like you're with a bunch of 16 magazine stars who won a contest to be in a movie. They don't come off like actors. They come off like real guys. And Hunter, like you were alluding to, their conversations were like friends. They give each other a hard time. They joke around. They're vulnerable and they get mad at each other. And so there was a real genuineness about this that carried it.
Yeah, it was funny watching it next to a person filled with estrogen. She could not get well, I mean, that's what my wife has, estrogen. She could not get how that guy Don or Dom was giving Luke shit and blaming him for the friend dying. And I'm like, there was nothing he could do. I'm like, you don't understand. I would probably feel the same way. I'm like, you were there, you had a bottle in your hand, you could have done something.
He was the guy in the group who's like, I dodged bullets in the street, bro. I'd have taken him out.
No, but I would always feel like, and I might not hate the guy for it, my friend for it, but I'd always feel like, man, you just
Yeah,
sat
that guy was their hunter.
there.
Yes.
By the way, do you want to call, because this is about four guys in the woods encountering bad things, and it's British? Did you want to call it the ascent? Is this the direct opposite of the descent?
Oh, I like that.
That's that
I
hit me
think
when I was
you're a
watching.
tool.
Whatever, you're just an asshole.
I'm
But-
sorry. We're just buddies. We're giving each other hard times. See?
As
That's
an
how it works.
American, when they were talking about hiking the Appalachian Trail, and then compared to this place in Sweden, the one guy goes, "Well, this trail is less hillbillies and more history." And guess what? They run into Swedish hillbillies. Loved it.
I saw this trailer for this a long time ago, and I put the trailer on the Monster Man Facebook page, and the tagline throughout the trailer was "They should have went to Vegas," and so that was going through my head the whole time, and I'm like, yeah. I'm there's no more camping in my life. There's hotels.
No.
There's no more sleeping in tents and animals and what the hell was that noise and going to the bathroom and behind a tree.
No.
Those days.
If I ever camp again, it's with a grandchild in my yard, 5 feet from my door, where I can grab a beer and take a piss in my bathroom.
Amen, sister.
2 snaps up. Jason's stunned into silence right now.
I'm just
Doesn't even
waiting
know
for you
what
to be
say.
done.
We're done. Go ahead. Say something smart.
Let me see. What was the aspect ratio of this? So I did want to say that I thought the director did a great job shooting this in the woods. It's exactly like you were saying, Jack. At no point did I feel like they were on a set. I felt like the way that he used the trees and certain clearings, or at certain spots, the trees looked like they were planted and in rows, and it just, everything they did with that was fantastic. And the other thing that I completely agree with you, Hunter, is when they were doing slow zoom ins and you keep waiting to see something, and you don't. And when you finally do, it's such a weird place and it's such a weird angle. I rewound it twice. Like, what the hell did I just see? Where? Like, that's not even possible.
Yep.
And that to me was when the movie really started to kick in. When I saw the first glimpse of it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? This is weird.
It's so weird. And which we'll give away that in spoilers, but
Okay, well, as the driver for this week, I'm going to say it's pretty clear we all recommend this. Let's get the spoilers because I think there's a lot of fun stuff to talk about there. So if anybody wants to bail now, this is your chance. We're going to talk about the ending of the movie and any other details. So if you do bail, don't forget to give us a shout out on iTunes
better
or
not
Facebook or Twitter. And you guys ready for spoilers?
Yeah, just let everyone know we got a second episode coming out this week on Demon Night. That should drop
yay!
Thursday night or Friday morning.
Jason's favorite movie.
And then next week we're doing Tragedy Girls.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yes,
That's
but I won't be here. So you all know I will not be here next week. I'm starting a new job next Tuesday, so I will not. I got a lot going on, but I'll be here the week after.
Yay!
And we might be starting at 8:00 because I'm working in the big city. I might not get home in time, but we'll see.
Someone's got to mop up the peep shows.
Dude, did
Somebody's
I
got
tell you? It's funny you say that. I've always wanted to do a documentary, and I want to follow 3 guys who were jizz moppers. That was my dream in the 90s. Because what brings you to be a jizz mopper?
That's your dream.
Yeah, it was my dream. It was my film dream. I wanted to do this movie, but now they don't have peep shows anymore, so forget it. It's over.
with the advent of high def, I don't want to see that movie.
There's jizz mopping going on in Jason's house, but that's just he just grabs a towel.
You know, it's a real tragedy that the internet has ruined your dream of following jizz moppers around for a week.
Destroyed everything for me.
I
I
feel like
had
that would
backwards
work.
and everything.
I think that would work better as a found footage movie.
Oh, you could shoot it like that Disney movie I told you about last week. It's just
Yeah,
guerrilla style.
found sputum.
Okay, well now we've really spoiled the episode, not just the movie. Okay, let's get into spoilers. Because I have a few questions. So one of the things that was to quote a great man was interesting about this movie was there's a point where the last 2 guys end up with these worshippers of this monster in their camp, and you find that the monster wants the one main character not to die, but to become a worshiper of his.
Because he's got the mark because he has the pain.
Yeah, and this monster, which is a child of Loki,
a bastard son of Loki. I thought
Bastard
you
son of
two
Loki.
guys would have gotten a boner over that.
So at one point, the
Thor!
monster basically catches this guy after it kills like the rest of the cult. If only we could get him to do that for us. Just kidding. And the monster basically doesn't kill the guy. It like mushes his face down as if to force it to worship him.
Yes.
Mhm.
So my question is, earlier in the movie, when the cabin thing happens and they all have that crazy night, the one guy wakes. They find him up in the room with the Wicker Man statue, and he's like worshiping in his sleep.
Right.
And I'm wondering, did I interpret this right? That guy was being compelled by the monster to worship it, or what was happening there?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. They were just all having crazy nightmares of their worst fears. I don't know what that guy's deal was. I don't know. But he was the one who was the most okay with what had happened to the main guy and the friend. So I don't know if there was something weird there. I don't know.
I don't know if he was the most okay, but he didn't express anything.
At the beginning of the film, he told him that there was nothing he could have done. And
I thought that was the other guy who got hung from the tree. Because they look kind of alike. They were kind of swarthy looking. But the guy who got hung from the tree was the one who would say, "Hey, come to my office." They seemed to be the two best friends.
I could be wrong, but I was pretty sure it was the guy who was praying.
I have to watch
Anyway,
it again.
Either way.
Well, that was the only interpretation I thought of. Like, well, why was that guy worshiping in his sleep?
Such crazy shit happened to those guys in that house. I have no idea.
By the way, did you enjoy the Family Guy moment when they went to pour the booze out at the little makeshift monument and it just kept pouring and pouring, and the guy had like this little smile on his face?
What's that black and white Steve Martin movie? Is it The Man with Two Brains, or is it?
Yes, The Man with Two Brains.
Or no, it's Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Oh yeah, no, sorry.
And there's a scene where he's like pouring coffee out of a bag, and it just keeps coming.
That, and I love that in England, I learned that the taint is called the bridge.
Okay.
Yes, I learned that too. I was like, what the hell? Oh.
I wrote that down.
You can use that in your movie, in your mop movie.
Just mopping up the bridge.
Mop 3D.
Where do you work? I work on the bridge.
This movie's in 3D and 3J. Or G. I don't know.
Also, I forgot to mention, do you know the director, David Bruckner? He directed VHS, Sirens, and Southbound.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So he's directed little vignettes and, well, one popular horror movie, but Sirens. I love that movie, Sirens.
I did not like Southbound.
See, I like Southbound a lot.
Yeah, no. They should have gone northbound.
I like the Allman Brothers song Southbound, but not the movie.
Yeah, this guy is definitely someone to watch. He's put out some good stuff.
Yeah. And the main guy, Luke, is from Prometheus.
I don't remember.
So we won't hold that against him.
Jason and I love Prometheus.
I like Prometheus a lot.
Better than the last movie.
That's a very wide aspect ratio.
Again, you guys suck at this.
It's so wide.
You know, it was great is the monster, because it sort of looked like a cousin of Groot or an Ent, if you will, from Lord of the Rings.
It's
or
bananas.
Treebeard, the king of the Ents.
The Ents.
That was some of the coolest creature design I feel like we've seen in a film in a long time. It was so bizarre.
The face was whacked. Like I kept like leaning in and squinting. I was like, "What the hell am I looking at?"
It's like a deer, elk, and a giraffe, and a person hanging out of its mouth with the arms.
The freaking arms. That was the thing I was saying earlier before we got into spoilers. When you see the hand around the tree, but it's like 20 feet in the air. When I saw them, I'm like, what in the hell is going on in this movie?
Yeah,
I love that.
That scene was awesome when you're looking at the forest and then all of a sudden it moves.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what it was called? Well, they don't have a name for it because they can't speak the name, but it's a Jutan, which is a Nordic giant.
Oh.
So this is a Nordic myth. I think Sheridan shared
A
something.
Chitan sounds like something that my Italian cousins in the Bronx would call. Look at that Chitan over there.
Oh my God, they
You
would.
lazy Chitan.
Yeah, your big chadrul.
In the chat, Jim Herbert says your documentary could be called Disney World.
Oh, I was
We have
going to
a
call
winner.
it Mop. I think he just did it better.
Oh,
Disney
with
World
the
is
mop,
awesome.
you could do the whole Sorcerer's Apprentice thing.
That was one of the ideas. Holy shit! I have a folder about 2 inches thick with the ideas for that movie from the 90s.
You really are
I
disturbed.
did a lot of research.
And a lot of drugs.
You know there are buddy booths.
I did not know that, and I
So you
wish
put
I
your
did.
coins in to watch the movie, then you put a kern in the other thing, and then a window lifts up in the booth next to you. You can watch each other jerk off.
So that's where you met Anthony?
I thought that's where I met you.
So next week on Final Guys, we're gonna Jesus Christ. Get us out of here, Jack.
The real thing. Go ahead.
Is that enough spoilers for you guys?
Just save me. Just end it.
Okay. Well, with that, next week's movie is Disney World.
Disney World, baby. I have 1 week to make it. Get it on Netflix.
In 3G
3G.
or J.
3J.
however you spell it. Okay, so The Ritual, we're all thumbs up and on. And Hunter, good luck with the job next week.
Thank you very much.
And the movie.
I got a lot to do. I got to go.
I've always wanted to be an extra in a movie, and I no longer want to be in movies.
Yeah, you know you want to be an extra.
Not lending you any cameras for that.
I got one IMDb credit, and it's that.
I'll give him something to mop.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clean. Enough of that. Everybody, thanks for joining us, folks in the chat room, especially. Thanks for joining us and putting up with us. And I guess we'll see y'all next week on Final Guys. Don't forget to see Black Panther next week, too. And also a special happy Valentine's Day to y'all.
We love you, babies.
And with that,
Disneyland.
good night.
I'm not giving a goodbye. I'm just ending it.
Bye.